Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining. So lately, since the launch of 3D Motion, I've been getting a few emails asking me which is better now, 3D or Boris, and it's a tough one because 3D Motion's just come out, and I really do like it, but I'm a huge fan of Boris. I mean, I've got everything they have: blue, red, FX, Continuum Complete. So, but then again, it's just because they've been out longer and I've been using it longer. But let's do a little comparison and see. Well, you be the judge. What you think is better. So let's go into 3D Motion first and do something really simple, like create a word here and then move it over here. So let's go into text. Nothing fancy, obviously. Okay. So let's first I can use my hand tool or my move tool and move that. Then I can click on the resize tool and then resize it to something that I can work with or something that I'm happy with, and then I'm going to use my rotation tool. So here we go. I can now see that it's definitely 3D text, and I just move it up slightly. Alright, so for the purpose of this exercise, I just wanted to move it down here and maybe put a slight spin on it. So I'm going to move right to the end of my timeline, grab my text, my move tool again, move it down, and then rotate it more towards so I can see it, and that's it. I'm not doing anything else. So just that's all I want to do. And if I press play, it's there. So that's all I want to do. Move it down and rotate. So as you can see, that I did that really quickly with the 3D motion. So let's go into Boris and see if we can. We'll do the same thing with Boris and see how long that takes. All right. So let's type in Boris. Well, I don't need this enter it off, obviously. Update it, and then I go here. So first thing I need to do, I need to scale it up slightly. So Shift key, and I'm just going to move it up slightly. And then I'm just going to move it. And again, I can just use a move tool. I can use my tool palette here, and it's on move. So far, everything is relatively the same. But it's not in 3D. Because if I now rotate this, you'll see that there's no 3D on there. So one of the first things I need to do, I have to go into 3D extrusion, and now you will see that it's in 3D. And my bevel is way too high, so I'm just going to bring the bevel down a bit. Alright, so now if I go into have a quick look at my 3D spin, there you go. So that's what we did exactly. So we just want to move it to the bottom of the screen, and that's cool. So let's do that. Let's go to the last keyframe, and then go into position, and then just move it over here, and then move it down a bit, and I'm going to have to change this from hold to linear, and then I want to rotate that slightly so it faces me, go from constant to linear, and by all effects that should have basically replicated what I wanted to do. Alright, so I'm just slightly out of position. I need to be higher, and that's easily ramified. And go back to customs filters. That's not Boris being difficult. That's just me being lazy and not actually taking care of. But the as you can see, the process from moving it. There you go now, so it's all good. The process of doing the exact same thing is a little bit more complicated. There's a lot more steps involved, and rather than just there we go. So there you go. It's the same thing. All right. Well, so that's it's a bit longer than 30 seconds or a minute we did with the 3D motion, because as you can see, 3D motion I did that relatively quick, whereas Boris it was a little bit more involved. And because I'm used to using Boris, I move around much faster. So that's one thing you got to consider there as well. All right, let's I'm going to restart again rather than going undo, undo, undo. Let's do another little test. I'm going to go back to Boris, and let's say I just want to add a simple shadow effect. Okay. So how do I do that? So here's my Boris. I'm not going to do anything else with the word, but just Boris. I'm going to right click here. Let's see. I'm going to add new filter, and then I might go for image shatter. So if I press play, you can see that my image just shatters in little pieces everywhere. Now obviously I have full control what I can do with those pieces. By going back in here, I can expand the menu, and then I've got the different shapes that I can choose, and custom gradients, and transform, like how do I want these shapes to fly. Like the gravity, I might want the gravity to be faster so it falls out faster. But again, you need to know that these exist, and once you do know they exist, then you got all these tabs that you need to go in, like the gravity tab, like I said before, if you want the pieces to move differently. And then obviously the gravity changes, but you need to basically know where that is and how it's done. So that's not bad. If you know how to do that, that's cool. Let's go into 3D motion. Do the exact same thing. Let's add a shadow effect to a text. So is it just as fast, or is it slower, or I don't know. Let's pick a nice shattering effect. Now let's press play. There you go. It shatters. Okay. Alright. And do we have options of where the shadow pieces go? Well, yes, we do. We can go into attribute panel, and then we can see that we have many options of what we want to do with the shadow pieces. We can change the shape immediately. Let's go to sphere. So if I now do it, or was it in sphere? Let's do cube so it's a little bit easier to look at. So now my pieces are little cubes shattering. So you can see that that motion can do it rather quickly. So and it's very easy to do. Rather than with Boris, it's a couple more steps involved. But I have to admit, if I'm familiar with Boris, so for me, it doesn't seem like a big thing. I know exactly what to do, but that takes time and patience. Now, if you're just starting out, then so far 3D motion would definitely be easier to work with to get the effects that you want. Now, also bear in mind, Boris is 3 times more expensive than, say, MotionStudio. Here's the price from MotionStudio, and then here is the price from. Let's download and unlock. Okay, and I think you'll find that it's 3 times as much, right? I'm screwing this up. Anyway, Boris is $399, whereas there you go, $299. I apologize there, Boris. Trying to make you look bad, but I'm not. So it's a lot more expensive, obviously. But if you buy the latest Corel Video Studio, which is the Ultimate Pack, it includes the Boris. So it's not that bad after all, as far as price goes. But it is a lot more difficult to learn, and it's, for what I would say, it's for more advanced users. So you can quickly see MotionStudio is a lot easier and user-friendly compared to Boris. But it doesn't mean Boris is a bad software. It just means Boris is just a little bit more detailed, and you need to have a little bit more experience in using it. But once you do use it, you'll find that you have a little bit more control, and you can do a little bit more with Boris than you can with MotionStudio. But it also comes down to creativity. It's just a matter of working with the software. So again, I sound like I'm absolutely rambling here at the moment. But my point being is, if you're familiar, or if you're an advanced user, then Boris is something that you're more inclined to lean towards. If you're just starting out and you don't really have much knowledge on using 3Ds, then I would definitely recommend MotionStudio. But if you put both of them together, I think they're equally just as good, and they'll do and serve you just what you want. So hopefully, for those who are watching, I didn't ramble on too much, and it's cleared a few things up. And as always, thanks for watching.